We are here for round one of a two-man, playing against an opponent, Winter Orb. We will pull this out. Uh, Played against this person a bunch last night. The first match, they were Canadian Thresh. The two matches after that, they were better than this hand. They were Miracle Whip. So we ended up 1-1 versus Miracle Whip and crushed the Canadian Thresh. We're obviously mulliganing that hand. This hand I am going to keep. And must have had a top out. It's not a great hand, but I mean, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. If we see a basic island, okay, so options that our opponent could have right now are limited. So I'm just going to say he's Miracle Whip at this point, or Canadian Thresh at this point. Fetch out the basic here and go for the Stoneforge. Try and bait the removal, getting the Batter Skull. Our opponent could have a Stifle in hand, something that we have to realize, have to accept, and is probably going to flip his Delver here. Yep. Along with a way to kill our Stoneforge Mystic. But c'est la vie. I mean, we can only do so much. Yay, we got the land. Was hoping to get this land. We have a choice here between actually playing Knight and Pulsing, and I think that Knight is probably the weaker of the two choices. Just killing the Insectile Aberration seems pretty good. You can't daze it. We still have the daze mana up. Well, you can double daze it, in which case we're definitely going to jam Knight the next turn. But for now, we'll go with what we can. He's got to get another creature on the field here. He's got 5 cards in hand. Probably has another creature. So, I mean, it's pretty much a crapshoot at this point. If he gets another burn spell, he'll probably aim at this, in which case we're probably still going to jam Knights at that point because they'll be 4s and bigger than Bolt. That's the reason why we didn't play Knight there. We want to play around. Just got a quote from Elspeth on there. Huh. Yeah. We want to play around days as best we can. In this case, we're just going to jam the Knight. There's no point in holding it back. We have nothing else to do. He's got a Delver. If the Knight lands, it's big enough. Okay, so there's the days. Now he's upset because he sees that we naturally have the Maze of Ith. But he's got a Brainstorm, so he'll probably have another counter in hand. Do we play into the next days? I don't really want to play into the next days. Just for the simple fact that, ooh, oh, there's Wasteland. He put those back kind of quick. I'm also surprised that he didn't do it with the other color over there. What does this get? Gets Goyf. We're on clock, if you're wondering. I think that we'll actually just jam the Knight, and if he... Okay, so the Knight's stuck. Next turn we'll probably... I know, I'm humming a lot. We have to find a way to deal with this. Our holdout for it is gone. So we have to find an answer to this. Right now, I could go get a bird, but that'll probably be Fork Bolt, and that would suck. Let's see, what's he doing? Goyf? That I'm not too worried about. I mean, we have a Knight. Knight can grow 3 in a turn if need be. I'm more concerned about this flyer up here, which... Scavenging Ooze can deal with. Let's see, so his Delver there, and my 2 creatures. I did pick Scavenging Ooze, did I not? Do we just disconnect? Maybe. One moment. Alright, we're back. Still pushing that out there. There's our scavenging ooze. Gonna go ahead and fetch now for the simple fact that we can. We're gonna get another Bayou, that way he has a choice between different green spells that he can kind of go after. And there's one. Other options. Let's see, we have a 3-turn clock from Delver. We're going to end up fetching, just straight out fetching for a I think we hold back on that. If he swings with the Goyf, or if he bolts, then we go for it. But if he doesn't bolt to start with, honestly, he's probably going to bolt us because it forces us to have an answer right now. I could go for a little bit of removal. Alright, there's a goose. Bob, not exactly what I'm looking for. Alright, so how are we going to do this? I can bog his yard, that'll take care of the goose. We're going to eat that knight too, I didn't see that before. Had I been thinking, I would have bogged his yard last turn, but I was not thinking. That'll get talked about later. So let's see. We still have a couple more hits there. I'm just going to run Bob out here right now. Risky, I know, but we kind of need the answer to the Delver. We also need Bob to die. He's got 1 card in hand. We've got 3 turns until he finds a bolt. He's got a lot of lands. At this point, we're going to start actually. I'm going to bog him here and start bashing in. There's a top. I'll pay for a Spell Pierce if you really want me to. If he's got a Force of Will in hand, that's a little bit more problematic. At that point, we jam Liliana and force him to sacrifice a body. Okay. So there goes the goose. We could gain the life from it, but I'm just going to attack with the knight. Next turn, I can grow the ooze too, and we can kind of see what we're doing from there. We're still hoping to draw removal. Any burn from him, and we're dead. So, yeah, this is that situation that I had mentioned earlier, where you're just kind of sitting back and wondering whether or not they can burn you out. The Delver, the maze going away was a little bit problematic. Unfortunately, there are 4 wastelands in that deck, and there's not much else that you can do about that. And unfortunately, he had them. Game 2, we want to avoid forests. That way his submerges cost this value and not 0. He's still digging for burn. So whether or not he finds it, we'll find out. Ooze is definitely going to eat both of these creatures. We've got to get up 3. We'd rather be at 4, but unfortunately, we're not going to have that ability. So, alright, upkeep. Scavenging Ooze. And Dryad Arbor. Alright, so let's see. If I have each player discard a card, I discard the land. That makes Knight a 7, Ooze a 7, Bob a 2. He doesn't have burn because I'd be dead. So that's what we got. Why didn't he stifle one of those Ooze activations? Whatever. You're dead. Other options included fetching out and getting basic getting a forest and playing a birds. That would have again gave us 2 life. So yeah. Alright, game 2. Hold that one out. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to go ahead and shrink this out so that way we can see all of the cards. First off, they don't like to play a lot of mana, so we're going to go that way. Their land is all islands. I'd like to choke them. I typically bring in 1 Dismember just to kind of deal with them, help deal with Delver and whatnot. The first thing on the chopping block is actually the 4 discard spells. Everybody pulls their forces out and everything, and that's correct. That is the correct play that you should be making. But the other part of that is, I don't think I want the D. I think we're going to try this. Wait, I'm pulling from the wrong section. There we go. I'm thinking that we're going to try this in place of 1 Liliana. A little bit more defensive, less aggressive on their hand and everything else. But it could work out. We'll find out. I mean, post board, we just put the Liliana back in, take this out, swap the because we'll be on the play. We'll swap the Dismember for the actual deed, and we'll call it a day. But for right now, I'd like to find out if this actually is going to hold up here. I was bringing the Timelies in against people in Madison. I didn't like it there, so but maybe. I mean, this is a different idea. Still not bringing in Teague. All of his burn will take care of Teague. He's probably dropping some of it, so we'll go from here.